Web3 TV.
My small brother, who was like 14 years old, Marie, this is Bitcoin. And I was like, what is Bitcoin?
What is it like for you as a female entrepreneur in the industry? What do you think the dating life is in Dubai like?
I think with crypto, it might make this whole dating app a bit more secure. Eventually, especially for women, it's quite tough.
From chatting with Hollywood stars to connecting with blockchain's A-listers, this is where innovation meets conversation with Jenny from the blockchain.
Hello everyone and welcome to the blockchain. I'm Jenny and this is where innovation meets conversation. Today our guest is bold, brilliant, and she's mining the future. From her European business studies to 12 years of building her life in Dubai, her journey has been anything but ordinary. With roots in index and forex trading, she spotted the next big opportunity, crypto mining. And in 2025, she went all in. She established her own mining farm, bringing clients reliable infrastructure and sustainable hosting solutions. She's not just keeping up with the crypto revolution, she is powering it. Please welcome here on Jenny from the blockchain, the founder of German mining farm, Marie Diab. Welcome, Marie.
Thank you.
It's so nice to have you here. So you moved from Europe to Dubai 12 years ago. How has that shaped your professional and entrepreneurial journey? And why Dubai? What has kept you here?
Well, when I came, I was very young, actually, like 23 years old. So it's been a while. I started within the automotive industry. So I did my bachelor degree within the automotive industry, and I was this car girl, you know, I loved cars and so on.
And you're in the right place to love cars.
Exactly, right? So you come here as a 23-year-old to Dubai, and I mean, this world is just crazy here, right? So many opportunities as well.
Yeah.
Like, for example, my job were more of the business controller side, executive assistant, business controller, business analyst, which means now, imagine, if you're in Europe, you study something and you remain in this job. Right? Like you're a banker and you always be a banker.
Well, yeah, I mean, in Germany especially, once you have a job, you never leave.
Exactly, but Dubai is so different. Like you come here as a teacher, for example, and you end up having a real estate agency, you know?
Yeah.
So this is Dubai. This is what I love about Dubai. And this is as well for me, coming from business controller background to actually hosting miners, doing crypto mining business.
And so what pivoted that for you? How did you go from being a business controller in automotive to then getting into the mining business?
Well, it actually started with my neighbor who was also hosting miners. So this is how I bought my own miner, or my first miners. And somehow I got hooked. But like exposing to crypto has been like long time ago.
How did you get into crypto?
Yeah, exactly. It's a very interesting story because, back in the days when the first ASIC miners came out, like 2013, 14, 15, my small brother, who was like 14 years old, he actually came up with this, Marie, this is Bitcoin, And I was like, what is Bitcoin? Like, no clue, right? And so we bought actually miners. Imagine we had like 3 Bitcoin miners.
Like this is 10 years ago.
More than 10 years ago. We had 3 Bitcoin miners and 20 Ethereum miners, all in our garage. Like our own farm.
Is it still there?
No, of course not. I mean, it was quite expensive to host those because electricity, you can imagine, right?
How high did your bill go?
Yeah, I mean, per miner per day, 15 euros.
Okay.
So you can imagine how much that was. And back then, the coin was not worth too much, right?
Yeah.
Which means the equation was, okay, it's too high of costs than what we're mining. And back then also no one knew what will happen, right, where the price would be.
Did you guys keep the Bitcoin that you mined back then, or did you sell it?
Yeah, so because it was my brother who was managing everything, and you can imagine he was like 15 back then, 16 at some point. So there was a time when the coins went up like 4,000. So, we had quite a few coins, but it was quite an amount of money which we had made back then.
For back then?
But then it crashed.
Right.
This is where, of course, he got all emotional and sold everything. So for him, like, if you speak about crypto, he says, Marie, don't talk to me about crypto at all. Like, I think it's very traumatic.
But But if he got emotional back then with 4K crashing, I mean, how does he feel about it now, seeing that it's over 100K?
Exactly. I mean, that's why he feels so burned. For him, he will not touch crypto anymore, which is so sad, you know, because we're still not where we are. I mean, where the end is, right? I mean, we're just at 110 or 120,000 per coin.
And he got you into it, and now he's not into it anymore.
No.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so he was the inspiration for crypto.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so now you're in Dubai and you decided to stay for the opportunities and you started mining with your neighbor, you said, right?
Yeah.
How did you go from there to owning your own mining farm? And what is it like for you as a female entrepreneur in the industry?
So first of all, I mean, I saw, of course, that he made a nice amount of money, right? So I was like, wow, you know, I don't want to miss this trend. And I really like this crypto space. I like the people around. And that's why, for example, women in crypto it's not like, oh, you're a female in this, you know, weird tech space or so ever. No, like everyone is welcome. Doesn't matter what's your background because everyone is new to it, right?
Yeah.
Which means you don't need to, back in the days, I mean, what did we all study? Like I studied European business. It's not like you studied AI or crypto or Web3, right? Now those kind of studies are available, but back then it was not, which means everyone is from a different business background.
Yeah.
And this is what I like. It's really accepting. Like everyone is accepting you in this field, in this space, and it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man or whatever, you know.
It's inclusive.
So it is very inclusive.
That's actually what Rachel Conlon, from the CMO from Binance, we interviewed her last week, and she mentioned that too. Is Bitcoin is very inclusive, and the Satoshi white papers, you know, mentioned that as well. So I like that. You know, you felt comfortable enough to tackle this space, but it's still very intimidating for many, especially for women. Not that I'm, you know, trying to discriminate at all, but I think, you know, for someone entering the space, like, you know, what exactly would you say crypto is, and how would you ease them into that space?
Yeah, so what is crypto? I mean, as you know, you went to the farm, you have all those machines which are calculating some mathematics puzzle, right? So all those machines are working on solving this puzzle. And as a reward, they get Bitcoins out of it. So this is how this whole crypto thing works, okay? So for women, I know that many I had a lot of talks with women and they were like, oh no, my husband is into this, not me. But I mean, you see how the world is going right now. In Dubai, we can pay taxi with Ripple, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, what? And you don't want to get into this. Of course, everyone needs to get into this. This is just the thing. It's the new money world, right? It's a digital cryptocurrency, right? Or the currency, which means you will need to be exposed to this.
At some point, I mean, everyone needs to get exposed to it, right?
And that's why I really encourage women to just expose themselves with buying crypto, or I mean, mining is such an easy way to start, right? But really, that's why also I try to be on it when I have women as clients, that I set it up for them, with them together, so that they understand which apps they should download, how to set up their Binance accounts, for example, how they can even transfer their dirhams or euros to their wallets and vice versa. Yeah, so that they are not left alone, because of course of course you can watch all those YouTube videos, but you have no clue, right? At the end of the day, and you're just super scared of sending your money and just wasting it, and there's no way back, right?
So you do a lot of hand-holding. You actually walk people through it.
Yeah.
And would you say that, you know, that helps your crypto farm stand out above the rest, or is there anything else that makes your particular crypto farm, you know, special?
So, as you know, there's different way of coolings. Okay, let's just go to the technical side. And most here do air cooling. Air cooling means that the air conditioning is cooling those devices, and all of those devices are somewhere, I mean, on the farms or on land where there's a lot of sand around and it's hot here in the UAE, right? Which means those miners don't last quite long. So what we do is mainly immersion cooling and water cooling. So we focus on different coolings setups, which are longer lasting for the miners, higher performing, and which of course are more profitable at the end of the day. So this is what we mainly focus on, unlike most other farms, because it's a very easy setup to just do air cooling. Yeah, so this is number one. Secondly, we're licensed, and not everyone is licensed here because it's, I think beginning of last year, they stopped handing out licenses.
So they capped it.
Yeah, so it's a very, very, very difficult procedure to actually have a crypto mining license.
Oh.
Which means a lot of mining farms are not licensed.
Okay, because the perception most people have is that this is the place to mine.
Yeah,
And
I mean
so,
it is.
So you're saying that getting that license is really difficult.
It's nearly impossible.
Okay, and I believe that there's been a pivot in the law recently, which we're going to get into. But first, we had the pleasure of visiting Marie's German mining farm in Al Ain for an exclusive tour. Let's take a look.
We see different cooling types actually in this mining farm. This is one of the biggest mining farms we have within our group. It contains around 4 megawatt of miners, which means around 1,000 miners. So what you've seen was first 3 sections of air cooling.
Uh-huh.
And then a last section of immersion, which is oil cooling, and water cooling, which is called hydro cooling. So in this farm facility, we mine Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Litecoin, Caspa, but most of the clients here want to mine Bitcoin. I love mining. I'm not a trader. Okay, so for me, mining is just the most headache-free investment. Whoever is interested in crypto, I believe this is a nice way to start without any headache and, you know, this emotional being attached to, okay, I invested at this price of the coin, right? Because your miner will always mine until it's not profitable anymore, but this takes a few years. So this is the diversification which I would suggest. You mine and you buy, but compared to buying, mining is more profitable over the long run.
How often do you get out to the farm to visit?
Not too often, but because it's far and I don't really need to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's running smoothly and there's a lot of technicians around and engineers, supervisors, as you saw. So it's fine. I don't need to go too often, to be honest.
Okay, so going back to this, you know, breaking news, which I like to call breaking news because it's something that's happening that is affecting a lot of miners, except for you. So tell me about this new regulation that's come into effect.
Yeah, so most farms are powered by or are running on agricultural land. Okay, so the recent law which has been passed is yesterday. Is that it's now not allowed anymore to use agricultural electricity.
And that's what you use?
Most, yes.
Mostly?
Definitely, most farms, especially those unlicensed farms, use the agriculture space, right? Which means now what has happened is that every landlord is being fined for having those farms on their land.
Oh
and it's quite a big fine even. And plus,
how much is the fine?
It's around 100,000 dirhams.
Oh my goodness.
And the equipment will be confiscated.
Oh my God. So now not only have you spent all that money to buy the equipment, but now you're losing your land and the equipment and you're having to pay a fine.
Exactly. So a lot of landlords, they are now not willing to host those mining farms anymore. Okay. Which means now what has happened yesterday already from like friends of mine, like they're shutting down all their farms. So
is your farm safe?
So far, yeah, our farm is safe.
Okay.
Because again, we are licensed as well, and most of them are not run on agricultural electricity. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so definitely we are safe so far. But this whole thing has such a big impact because this will shift the whole market. You know, I mean, there's so many farms. I cannot say numbers. I don't know, but there are so many farms out there which are now being shut down, and all those equipment needs to be moved.
If these farms are getting shut down here, where do you think the next hot market would be?
I believe from here directly more Oman or other GCC countries.
Okay. Saudi Arabia as well?
I think, yeah, but prominently more Oman at the moment. This is what I have heard from other mining friends.
Would you mine there as well? Would you consider it?
So my business partner and we were looking into this right now as well, because clearly there's this big shift, which means all those miners right now will need to be moved, right?
Yeah.
Which means there might be actually a lot of miners coming towards our farms. And of course, we don't have the space either, right? I mean, you need to create, we have around 20 farms. So create a new farm, you saw the setup, right?
Yeah.
It's not just, okay, we plug it in. No, you need to have this whole infrastructure there.
And speaking of which, what are some of the pros and cons of running a mining business in Dubai? I mean, now that we are going into the regulation aspect of losing, the unlicensed miners, what does that leave you with more pros now?
I guess so, yes.
And are there any cons of running a business here for you?
I mean, it's hard work at the end of the day because you have so many miners which run 24/7 on electricity, right? So you need to make sure that there's always constant electricity. You need to take care of this equipment. You saw the setup. You need to have cooling towers because summer is hot, right?
Yeah.
So it comes up to like 50 degrees, which means all those miners, the farms, the whole inside needs to be cooled down to a certain degree that it does not make those miners suffer, right? So for example, air cooling. Those miners are exposed to the heat, and then when they got too hot, they need to shut down. Okay, so they shut down, they cool down, and then they turn on again.
But
right?
you have to wait. It's a waiting process.
Exactly, and that's why it's not that profitable, those air-cooled miners,
Right.
because it's constantly shutting down, right? So
Yeah.
that's why we use different cooling systems where the miners don't shut down.
Is that sustainable? Because I know that's a really hot topic right now in the space.
Sustainability.
Sustainability.
Yeah.
This word, it's like a buzzword,
Yeah.
but everyone is using it. So, it's like, I guess the question would be, how are you tackling energy use and reliability?
Yeah, so far there was not the need for it, right? Because electricity here is quite cheap, right? And also because the setup, like the farms were built on a certain setup, right? Of course, we have the sun here, so we can really make use of solar energy. And I think this will be also the future, definitely. Just because now imagine electricity is becoming scarce, right? So what do we need to do? We need to look into those sustainable
solar panels,
options, solar panels, to really make sure that we have enough energy, right? So that's more of an aspect that we need to make sure that we have the energy. And solar is a good thing. Definitely here. I mean,
so would that be a bigger cost for you to get those panels, install them, and would that be as powerful, to continue to mine as opposed to what you're doing now?
I'm not 100% sure. I did not look into this too much. I think it just helps. It will not be working, or it will not be supplying fully the electricity, but at least it will help. Okay, so that we reduce the electricity consumption, which is fueled by oil here, right?
Right. So at least it does help to some extent, exactly. And if you could change one perception people have about crypto and mining, what would it be?
Well, I would love people to, like women especially, to be really more interested in this, that they really understand how this whole system works. This is really what I would love to have. But when it comes to mining, you need to go to a trusted source, okay? So there's a lot of offers, maybe not the best as well, so you really need to go to a trusted source, okay? But otherwise, I feel people need to just get into this. Inform yourself. Don't be scared, because you will miss it at some point. And then you may be too late. And you still need to make use of it. Like, you still need to get into the space because you cannot avoid it anymore at some point.
And I think it's better to jump on that train now, like you said, with a trusted source, and maybe you could be that source of inspiration. Where do you see the role of mining going in the next 3 to 5 years as crypto adoption grows?
Mining will always be there, because those coins which can be mined, the proof of work coins, they need to be mined, right? I think that at some point it might be maybe not too much profitable anymore for people.
Do you think the profitability will slow down?
Yeah.
Okay.
So But in order to keep it profitable, those farms, right, we need to think of how to make it profitable and attractive, because of course it's a business model, right, which means we will need to invest into alternative energy solutions like solar to keep the cost low, the energy cost, right, because we charge, you need to pay for electricity.
So each person that mines with you has to pay for their own electricity?
Yeah, they pay the electricity bills every month to keep it running. So this is what we need to look into. But I
also
believe
to stay competitive, right?
To stay competitive as well, exactly. But the more the coin grows, so let's say we reach at some point like 400,000 for one Bitcoin, it's still profitable, right? Even though you mine less, right? In like 3-4 years, you will mine less. But the more the coin grows, it remains still profitable. But I believe that at some point it will be mainly large institutions which will mine. Now there's a lot of focus on this, that really, really big institutions are family offices putting all their money into big mining farms.
We're seeing that in the US,
Yeah.
and they were all opposed to it at one time, right? They called it a scam, like the BlackRocks and the Vanguards and the big institutions. And now all of a sudden we have all these ETFs that are and the adoption of Bitcoin. So it makes you a little bit skeptical as to, why they are now coming on board, and maybe those that believed in Bitcoin all along were right. And so those who jumped on that wagon got lucky.
Yeah, very lucky.
And maybe, do you think that now that the big institutions are coming into the game, do you think that that is reinforcing the trust in this coin, like in Bitcoin and crypto?
Yeah, definitely. Clearly. I mean, you see how many coins does BlackRock own? 600,000?
Yeah. And Michael Saylor, I mean, I think he started that revolution with, buying as much as he can for his fund, and everybody's jumping on the bandwagon.
And then you see countries wanting to put it as a national reserve, I mean, clearly there's a big future, and I believe now more and more people become more comfortable, but still worldwide, I mean, Asia has like 30% of people only own crypto. Same here in the Middle East, but like Europe, 7 to 10%.
It's nothing. Yeah, I mean, look at like the Central American countries like El Salvador, Mexico as well. There were crypto machines everywhere when I was there. So I guess this will become a norm, but it depends on who catches it, sooner or later.
Yeah,
like Europe, as we know, is sort of late and
too late now.
Okay, so you are successful in your business. I love seeing a woman take charge in this space and run her own company. How does that affect your work-life balance?
Well, my husband always calls it work-work balance. Because you don't have, you don't wake up at 7 and work at 8 until 5 or so. You work continuously, 24/7, which is, I feel it's okay. I don't mind, to be honest, because still I have the flexibility,
You work from home.
Exactly. I can work from anywhere at the end of the day. So for me, I like that I'm very flexible and that I'm not stuck somewhere. Because that's the worst, right? Being stuck in an office. Sorry, guys. So, and you have a child at home, and you want to take care of this child as well. So I really love the flexibility, even though I know I work until late sometimes, until like midnight, having calls. But that's, for me, it's fine. I actually enjoy this because
and you have your family
myself.
by you when you're working from home. I know that you're married, and I know that you found your husband here. And this is a very hot topic right now for all those single women out there. What do you think the dating life is in Dubai like? And do you think that dating apps will eventually hit the blockchain?
Well, dating life. I think it's just so many different cultures here that it's quite tough, the dating life. Yeah.
But you had it easy.
No, I'd say it's easy.
With a big smile.
Well, at the end of the day, we worked through it, I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, a lot of culture clash, I mean, I'm from Germany, he's from Lebanon. But still, I think with crypto, I read about it because, it's very interesting. I think it might make this whole dating app a bit more secure, not too much scams around, which eventually, especially for women, I feel it's very important, right?
Yeah, the security aspect of it. I was reading about that too, because I think in this respect, you know, with all the dating apps and the technology nowadays, if it went on the blockchain, maybe there would be a bit more security and you would feel, as a woman, better going out on a date with a person that you met online. Okay, so going a little bit more deeper into your personal, best advice you ever received and how it has shaped you.
Best advice I ever have received. I think patience. Yeah, because I'm someone I want it now, and you know, like yesterday. It should have been happening yesterday already, right? When I start tackling things, but it takes time. Everything takes time.
Have your children inspired that patience in you?
Oh my God, so much. Too much.
Yeah.
No, of course. Patience is seriously what I always advise to people. You need to work on it, but you need to be very patient as well, because success doesn't come overnight. Yeah, you need to work on it, but it takes time.
Yeah.
Good things take time.
Very well said. Lastly, what would the successful version of you today advise your younger self?
Well, oh my God, I would tell myself to invest in Bitcoin with $1. Even, you know what? So even when it went up to like 70 or 67,000, right? You're like, oh my God, I missed it.
Yeah.
And then it crashed down, and I bought actually at 27,000. Thank God I bought. Not
Good
as
for
much
you.
as I was hoping to, but I would tell myself to, as soon as you hear Bitcoin, buy all those machines you can, produce as much as you can. This is what I would always
To your
advise
younger
myself.
self.
Yeah.
Any other advice you would give your younger self?
I don't know. Trust the process. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's great. Thank you so much, Marie, for being with us here today and for sharing your amazing story. To our wonderful viewers, thank you very much as well. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more updated content. And remember, whatever stage in your life you may be, it's never too late to take that leap of faith and reinvent yourself. And as they say, fortune favors the risk takers. I say, be daring, be bold, because that's how you will embrace your future. Thank you once again, and this is Jenny from the Blockchain.
This is where innovation meets conversation with Jenny from the Blockchain.
Web3 TV.